Death for the Cloud Chaser TV, man. We back up in this thing again, you dig? And we bringing you, man. We're gonna break down some of this Latin King info that was exposed on the Queen's Flip show. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple of people on there, right? And they was on the Queen's Flip show. And what ended up happening is that they was keeping it G. People saying, right? That's what people were saying. Like, damn, they had no idea that the 5%ers was doing this type of, you know what I'm saying, stuff. And I have heard from other people allege, they say these particular 5%ers who's doing this type of stuff and who was running things, they was out of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? BK. You feel me? And you know, we know the history of Brooklyn. You know, them guys, shit, man, it's a crazy place, right? You know what I'm saying? Similar to, you know, other places in this country, like a Chicago, like a Los Angeles, a Compton, you know what I mean? Oakland and, you know, a Detroit, you know, I can keep going on and on, Cleveland, you know what I mean? Las Vegas, you can go on and on, Atlanta, you know, it's just like any other of these places, right? But the thing is like, what's quite interesting is how these brothers broke down their story. How like a lot of the information they was speaking on, it was the total opposite of what Soul B was speaking on, which is deep, right? Because now we got a perspective, you know what I mean? Now we need the Jamaicans' perspective. We got to get Queen's Flip to get the, you know what I'm saying, the Jamaicans up there so they can tell their side, you know what I mean? Because like people basically saying during that time, they said the Jamaicans had it and the 5%ers had it. And a lot of times they said the 5%ers out of Brooklyn was, you know, doing the thing. You feel me? But we're gonna watch this clip, right? So we can have some type of idea exactly what I'm talking about.
Yo, what's up? We're gonna go get son. Yo, son got sneakers. Son
Salute,
got
top of the
this.
morning.
So now you gotta understand who was the target. The minority. We was the minority at the time. Latinos.
So you being in prison, or you guys remember before you that the Spanish were were you guys being picked on? Like what was?
Absolutely, we were being picked on. Absolutely.
Not everybody. But I'm gonna break it down. Listen, let me break it down the best way. When we was first coming to prisons, the biggest blocks that was holding everything down was the Jamaicans. The Jamaicans had, because remember back in the days in the 80s, remember all these movies and everything. All the Jamaicans used to go to jail and it'd be like 1,000 Jamaicans. Boom, 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 all this crazy stuff. Everybody from the spots, they was getting. Listen, I'm just keeping it 100, baby.
Don't make sound effects
Bro,
like that, bro.
I'm gonna start hitting the wall. Blood clot.
You had the Jamaicans,
Listen.
big things are going on in the city.
Yard boy, Yankee man. But the Jamaicans had things. I'm not even gonna lie. They was really the big thing besides the 5%ers. The Muslims, I'm not even gonna consider them part of it. The Muslims do what they do, but gangs, what they consider gangs, the 5%ers and the Jamaicans.
What was the Jamaicans gang?
Particularly the smokes.
Wow. So like even just like the breakdown, right? And we hear that information. We like, wow. So like the 5%ers, it's just interesting how like they what people would consider a gang. And you know, with all these organizations, we finding out that they all stem from trying to bring one another up. You feel me? See, that's the number one goal in all these organizations that we're watching, right? And what's deep about it is that a lot of times people overlook that just because people might gang bang or they might have to hustle a different way than the next person, they feel that they have no moral compass. You feel me? They feel that the moral compass is gone. But a lot of times, especially now, we seeing with these first generation members out of New York and what they speaking on and how they stand for certain things.
smokes.
The smokes.
They used to throw something or some whatever, like if they were smoking weed or whatever, it was called the smokes.
And they were deep.
Oh yeah, they were deep.
The Jamaicans were deep.
They were deep.
The
And
Jamaicans
they was
were
putting
deep.
that work in.
The Jamaicans were deep. And you messed with one, you was fighting
You
all
was
of them.
fighting the whole
All of
tribe,
them.
man.
All of them.
They didn't play that.
They got the same mentality that Latins have. They family oriented. They all from the yard. Somehow, bro, you messed with one, it was like forming Voltron.
So
And you know, it's nothing wrong with that, right? It's nothing wrong with you messing with one and you forming Voltron, especially when it comes down to that type of setting. You understand? And that's the thing amongst brothers. Like, no matter what gang you are in, you hear many stories how, different races, they go to prison, or, and prison is pretty much a down point for a person, man. Like, if you there, you pretty much almost at the lowest point in your life, you feel me? A lot of people consider that, right? So at that point, you looking for people. Well, you're not looking, but you will hope that people will have some type of empathy towards you and show you some type of love. You know what I'm saying? Under the circumstances, you feel me? And what happens is that these different races, they end up, soon as they people touch the yard, they hoop. Soon as they touch the deck, here you go. Here go some toiletries. Here go this. Here go that. When they come to us, hey, where you from? Who you with? That, you know what I'm talking about? It's a whole jargon behind it. But pay attention, people. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's really going on. See, like, as this information has been exposed, and now you got these OGs and you see their mannerism now, and you see what they represent now, I think that the youth and foregoing anyone who's considered themselves in that lifestyle should represent themselves a certain way. Don't you think? It's definitely the Cloud Chaser TV, man.
So those
That was the original beef from Rikers Island after it transformed from the 5%ers, because the 5%ers started losing the momentum. And Rikers at the time in the early 90s, it was
That's
the
when the
Jamaicans.
Jamaicans, they
It
were
was the
coming
Jamaicans. The Jamaicans were strong. The Jamaicans were strong.
So that's what
You
West Indians,
You had to
Jamaicans.
respect them, man. You have to respect them. They had the mentality, man. And the Trinidadians, the Guyanese, all of them came under the Jamaicans. And they was powerful, man.
That's what made you guys create the Lion Kings in New York.
No,
No.
the one that started because of that was the war with the 5%ers.
But okay, but let's go back, like you said. So the Jamaicans now. But what made, in your opinion, you can't, speak for the Smokes, but what made the Jamaicans? Were the Jamaicans picking on you guys?
It wasn't a picking.
No, it wasn't
They
a picking.
just dominated.
They just dominated.
All right, let's put it like this. If you hit HDM,
Then you got, Sully, from the OG of the Lions, right? And I believe that Queen's Flip, he's even going into, Queen's Flip just recently was in Jamaica. And knowing Queen's Flip, I'm pretty much willing to bet that when he was in Jamaica, he was pulling out this interview. So I'm pretty sure on his platform, you will be seeing from the OG of the Lions. I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? Because he was just in Jamaica, like, you know what I mean? Like a couple of days ago, you feel me? If you're not still there, allegedly. It's definitely the Cloud Chaser TV, man.
HDM was it 80 people, 80 cells, 3 phones, 80 people, 3 phones. You think everybody's getting on that phone?
I don't know.
I would assume so. They would.
You would assume that 80 people gonna get on that horn.
They're supposed to.
We're not talking about supposed to. We're talking about reality of it.
Yeah, all right.
So the biggest problems in jail was
The Jacks.
You pick up that phone, it was like a house phone. You could stay on that phone 8 hours. There was no time limit. So that phone, that horn, is what was the major drama. You know what I'm saying? So when you come into a house, first thing you want to do is let your family know where you at so you can get a visit. Now picture another man telling me I can't get on that phone. And he don't got a uniform on. He a regular inmate. You think I care what color he is? I'm gonna get on that phone.
That's deep, right? Shit, everybody, you know what I'm saying, who been in them type of circumstances and had to, that phone, like communication with the outside world, sending that kite, you know the deal, man.
My lights is about to get turned out. You think I'm worried about catching another case or catching something? You're gonna let me on
I'm
that
gonna
phone.
die in prison. I got
You're
no
gonna let
choice.
me on that phone. That was the beef, was the phone. The phone was the beef. The Jamaicans, it wasn't really the robbery thing. Jamaicans wasn't really on that robbery thing. They did whatever they did, but it wasn't. It was more the oppression of the phone and the domination. You couldn't get on that phone. They had the shit on smash. So that was really the beefs that started creating the beefs was the phone. That was the beefs with the Jamaicans.
Now picture you coming back from Rikers Island. You get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They throw you in the bullpen. You spend hours there eating a bologna sandwich. You blow trial. Your light's done. And you coming back to the house and you want to tell your people, you're trying to make the next move to see what my lawyer's going to do. What, let's prepare this appeal. Come see me or anything. And you're not able to get on that phone?
Shit, it's a problem, right? It's a problem. But it's even crazy. Like the U.S. government, they've been putting in like different iPads and things of that nature inside these prisons and inside of these federal institutions, right? And I believe that's probably why they doing it, because of that beef with that phone. Some people should get paid, to use that phone. Like, can't nobody use that phone in some parts of this country. You feel me? Without that one person saying, allege some type of compensation. You feel me? Other than what the prisons is getting. You did? Crazy, right?
Ain't no man alive gonna tell me that I'm not able to get on that phone.
So it started with the phones.
Yes.
That was the biggest beef from
The
Rikers
biggest
Island
beef.
in the 90s. This before we talking about pre-Bloods.
Okay, pre-blood.
Bloods didn't even
Bloods.
exist at
There
that
was
time.
no Bloods at the time.
And if there was probably one or two, and it was from LA.
From LA. And they rocked with us was because they was under the People Alliance.
Yes, the People Alliance.
Wait, hold on.
The People Alliance. In my Latin King video we put up the other day in the live, I was telling you more so about that 5 and like that 6, right? The Folks Nation, the People's Nation. And I told you the Black P. Stones, Jeff Ford, he's the alleged person who gave, everyone that 5. You feel me? Because he got the teachings of the Noble Jew Ali, brung it back, put down, you did. And you know what I'm saying? And then they came up with the People's Alliance, and then they let certain people form under that, other than the 21, the main 2 ones, you dig? Which is the 21 bricks in the pyramid. You feel me? So that's just a, a fun fact. You could check him out on Gangland, if I'm not mistaken, or American Gangster, the Jeff Ford story.
Okay.
What's that?
That's a coalition that was made out of Chicago with the peoples. The peoples, you got peoples and folks. You got People Nation,
We
you
were
got the Folk
peoples.
Nation.
Folks
Everything
behind
that's
it.
under the 5-point star. Everything that's 5, pops 5.
5 alive,
Everything
6
that's-
gonna die, people's popping, disciples dropping.
Yeah.
So the Bloods,
Everybody be quiet when they heard that, right? They didn't know if they should laugh or if they should like shut up. So they just was silent. Like, man, maybe we shouldn't comment for a minute because we don't want to offend no one. Because one thing about the Folks Nation, what they did is what's different than the People's Nations, because a lot of times you got Bloods everywhere, but it's only certain Bloods, and they usually are from New York that even rock with the People's Nation. You know what I mean? You got the ones from LA, you got the T. Rogers, you know what I'm saying, the BPS Bloods, but the BPS Bloods, they known, they vicious. They've been known to put out violent, behavior, put out pain. You understand what I mean? And with that being said, they name ring, so people know who they are. But in reality, they not that big. You feel me? So them not being that big, I wouldn't even say they would count because they just a small portion. If you understand what I'm saying. So most of the country is under the Blood Act or under the Crip Act, and they running under that type of stuff. They ain't really running under that 5 and that 6. That 5 and that 6, you will find them more into, Tennessee, southern states. They'll rock with it because you have the vice lords out there. You know what I mean? You just like New York, but New York that adapted. I think the New York Bloods are the first Bloods that really other than the Black Stone Bloods out of Black Pete Stone Bloods out of LA, I believe that they're the first ones to adopt the 5 point star. And I believe that's a fact. Get in that comments and let me know. Cause I believe that's a fact right there. Them like far as the East Coast, they the first ones. Cause I remember back in the day when I first heard it, I was like, damn, you got the five out there. Cause Jim Jones, Dipset. They used to say it a lot in their music. I was a big Dipset fan. So growing up, I would hear that shit. I'm like, damn, they got the, you know what I'm saying? They got the five out there. Damn, I didn't even know that. Cause prior to that music, you never heard that in none of their music. You understand? And it makes sense.
The Bloods was under that 5 point banner.
So wait. Let's because you guys talk fast. So because you good talkers, I gotta slow you down for me.
Mm-hmm.
Who came up with the People Alliance?
That's in Chicago. That's in the 70s.
I just told you who came up with it. A man by the name of Jeff Ford. Jeff Ford, he came up with the People's Alliance. He the one that invented the five. Because he the one who got the teachers from the Noble Drew Ali. You dig?
Got nothing to do with New York.
That's got nothing to do with us.
So
But they came here and we respected that.
you respected
Because
that.
it's in our lessons.
Absolutely.
100%.
So the people and who did it consist of though?
You had at the time Vice Lords, you had traveling Vice Lords, you had the El Rookins, you had who else at the time?
L. Rookins, I'll give you a backstory on that. See, the L. Rookins is the same again as they under the Jeff Ford Act. That's when the split of the Black Pea Stones, they had split. In Chicago, you had a guy by the name of King Bull. King Bull was with Jeff Ford. And basically, like alleged story, they say that, I'm young, I'm 32, but this alleged story, they say that King Bull was more so the muscle, even though you see Jeff Ford, big muscle, you know what I mean? But King Bull was the one who people feared the most. So with them two brothers coming behind each other, it was perfect for the nation. And then what happened is that, we seen the story. J. Edgar Hoover, you know what I mean? FBI, he got involved and he started putting people against each other and putting in people's heads different things. These are facts. You can go read his book. You can go watch his movie. You know what I mean? These are facts. That's what the gang even came about. See, at first they was called organizations. You feel me? Even down to like Jeff Ford. Jeff Ford in 1957, he received federal funding from the U.S. government for job development. See, that's how they was messing with these organizations at first. They was doing them just like they would do churches or any type of Catholic, you know what I mean? Crazy, right?
The Bloods, Pea Stones, Black Pea Stones,
Those were the peoples.
Black Panthers,
And then that's as far as for the five.
everything
Yes.
that pops five.
And where does that terminology for the five come from? Right under the five. What is that like? Is it anything special about it? It's a
It's
star.
just there's a star. It's a 5 point star.
5 point star.
What's the meaning of a 5 point star though?
It's the crown. It's the crown that
The meaning of it: love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. You dig? But like the homie Mr. Immortal said, he say, Mr. 187 says T. Rogers came from Chicago and went to Baldwin Hills, sanctioned like 14 BPSs at once, and his enemies' faces changes was against Crips, but structured in people's format. He kept informed bees. They speak in facts, far as peoples and folks nations. This common in the East and the Midwest, the South, most known, El Rookin Muslims as Muslims. Fun fact. Exactly, Mother.
affiliates all of us together.
Got
It's
it.
a symbol. It's like it's an emblem, if you will, of these organizations.
Like the
these
six,
families.
everything they do is 3 and 6s.
We do everything is
Everything
five.
is a 5,
Got it. Wow. So now,
which is like T. Rogers took it from Chicago to L.A. And that's the Pea Stones, which later on became what they became, the Jungle, the different stones and everything, but originated in Chicago.
understood.
And they're under the People's Alliance.
So let's fast forward a little bit. The phone's going crazy. The Jamaicans. Do you remember? Bring us to the day that King Blood came and said, "Yo, what were you doing? How did it come? Was it a kite sent? How did that whole conversation happen?"
I was actually playing handball. We just came from commissary. Everybody's flossing. You eating your your little ice creams and stuff. And I'm playing handball, and I was approached by this Cuban brother. So they were watching me. I had 2 days prior to that, I had gotten into a fight. This dude tried to come at me, and
Shout out Skin Team, you dig? Skin Team since 2000. Y'all go check out that YouTube. Smashing them.
I had hit him up. And at that time, there were very few Dominicans at that time. And he said, "Shorty, you got a lot of heart, man." And I just said, "Oh, it is what it is. I'm just, trying to survive here." So we had a conversation, and they had invited me, and then they showed me the concept of bringing all the Latinos together. And I said, "Wow, man, that's pretty cool." And I saw what was happening at that time. I said, "I'm with it."
What did you see though? I said you saw the phone. You saw when you getting robbed. Like,
people were getting robbed. People were getting jumped. People were, you come in with a chain. Back then, you could rock your jewelry. Back then,
I heard.
And dudes were getting snatched. We had expensive sneakers. You had expensive boots and stuff, and people were just taking it off of you. And we were herbed. We were herbed. And I said,
That's crazy, man. But what's quite interesting is that no matter what story is being told, like we said in the beginning of this episode, so right, it's still all the same concept. They were trying to uplift one another, right? And then you had people like J. Edgar Hoover come in, and this even before the New York stuff even formed. That's what's even crazier, right? See, because we need to go even deeper. See, I need to know what, like, I want to hear what was New York doing, like, far as these crews or these different organizations, like pre the 80s, like 90s, I mean pre the 80s, 70s and 60s and stuff. You know what I mean? I want to know like what was, because it had to been some sort of a fight. And during this fight, I'm pretty sure it was different type of organizations that I want to hear from. You feel me? So my platform might not be be the biggest, but maybe some type of big platform can get with these people and do some sort of content with them, man. That'd be dope. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure Frank Lucas, when Frank Lucas was running around, when we seen American Gangster, when Frank Lucas was running around, being a big drug dealer or whatever, right? I'm pretty sure that you had to have some type of formation in the streets. Like someone had to be in control in that matter. You understand?
but I'm with it, man. I'm with it. What we got to do?
And you witnessed the Latino
Absolutely.
being, and these were by the Jamaicans or the
No, we was by the 5%.
This is the 5%.
The Jamaicans, we made that very clear.
You did.
Jamaicans wasn't on that.
They wasn't on that.
Now, he said that. Yes,
They wasn't
pardon
on
me.
that.
Pardon
Yeah.
me. You did make that clear. So the 5%ers.
He said the Jamaicans wasn't on that, and that's dope. But it's crazy because if people know what 5% is supposed to represent and who they are as a nation, the story about to get crazy, right?
Were more like being.
But when we say 5%, I need you to understand what
Please
my
explain.
brother broke it down. You have the righteous 5% of that. They wasn't about that.
That teaches you. He did say
Teaching
that.
you.
Yes.
They will build you up. You have the righteous brother.
Then the
You know what?
renegade.
They had the poor righteous teachers. These brothers wanted. And they were about education. They were about black pride. They were about rising the people. And going against the man. But then you had these young kids that came under them who, it was back then it was cool to have a moniker like Knowledge or See Allah or something like that. It was cool because because of Rakim. And so these young cats used to come and they had that type of mentality. And they were the ones who started that stuff. And in our eyes, we categorized everybody as one because you're a part of that. If you're a part of that and you allow that to happen, then you got to get it too. And that's how we transformed.
And he said
That makes a whole lot of sense, man. Makes a whole lot of sense. So what's like just with like ending because they pretty much summed up that story, this whole piece of content within what they said in the last 15 minutes. You feel me? What we just went over. So we ain't gonna overdo it. We want y'all to go check out that Coins Flip episode. Drop these comments. Let us know how you feel about this. You know what I mean? And for the most part, shit, we out, man. It's definitely the Cloud Chaser TV, man. We up in this thing again. You feel me? We just giving a quick breakdown on what's going on. See if we can get some type of clarity to at least the information that I know, because now what's about to happen is they about to get more into detail on some things that we gonna need the 5%ers to come up there and talk about, and then we'll break down that episode. You did. So again, salute, man. Everybody in the chat, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. If y'all new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. Smash that notification bell so you can be updated. Also, we got membership on the channel. You get perks like shout outs and stuff like that, even though we show love anyways, just to, show love to us because we show love. You feel me? In case you can't get in that super chat. It started at like $1.99, man. Y'all check that out, man. It's definitely the Cloud Chaser TV, man. We back up in this thing again, you dig?